Hey everybody, it's me, Jake from Jake and Off. Thanks for tuning into another episode. I really like it when you do that. This week I am joined by a funny comedian and friend of mine. Give it up for Lynn Navratil, everybody. Let him hear it. Let Lynn hear it. Lynn can be found on Instagram at lynn.navratil, Navratil. And you can find him at Lynn Navratil on other platforms too. Just look up. He's like the only guy with that name. So other than that, though, as always, follow this podcast at jaken.off.podcast and send anything at all to jaken.off.podcast at gmail.com. I'll look for it at least once. I'll look at it at least once. But other than that, thanks for tuning in to another episode. I love you and enjoy the episode. Have a nice listen to the episode.
Oh, won't you take off with me? Oh, I know it's your fantasy. Oh, won't you take off with me? Yeah, we're taking off every week.
And he's like, "Are you serious?" And everybody just was like, "Oh my god!" Like everybody was laughing at this guy because he was so fucked up. Like when I was on stage, I was making fun of him, and I was like, I was like, "Dude, what did you?" I was like, "You look like you drove a lawnmower here." It's like it looks like you have to. You look like I was like, I'm pretty sure you have to drive around on a lawnmower because you're not allowed to have a license anymore.
Yeah.
You can't. He couldn't drive a car, so he took out a huge loan on a zero turn fucking lawnmower to drive.
He still gets pulled over, but he's just like, I thought this was America.
One of the things I said is like every time he gets fucking drunk, he mows that one strip in between the sidewalk and the street. All the way home, and everybody's like, Raymond got drunk again. Need to tell him to raise the blade.
He's so close to a public mess, but he's also doing more public work than anyone else.
Bro.
So they're like, it's okay, I guess.
He was a mysterious guy. He was at the end of it, he kept being like, I'm not drunk. He's like, I'm not. He's like, I'm not drunk. He was really adamant that he was not drunk.
Yeah.
He was so fucked up. And at the end of it, we found out he was a network engineer or something like that. He was he said that to the headliner, and Shanik was he was like, everybody's Wi-Fi is gonna go out. If you have fucking Spectrum, whatever. Watch out.
He's
tomorrow.
the reason that AT&T fucking collapsed.
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah.
He mentioned that, or no, the guy mentioned, he's like, we ain't fucking AT&T. He's like, we ain't AT&T
Because I'm in charge. I got
it.
Big Daddy Raymond.
But he wasn't like that though. He was not bragging so much as he was I do think that he kind of knew what he was doing a little bit. I think that he was there
he was
an
sobering up enough to be like, I get it now.
No, there was an element of he was knew that he was giving us the goods.
Yeah,
you know that he was kind of
he's enough there to be like, oh, I'm part of this now.
Kinda, yeah. And then he's just kind of was dumb.
Yeah.
He was the perfect mixture of dumb, likable, and there.
Dude, that's my whole stage presence. Is just dumb, likable, and there. That's my entire persona.
That's kind of true, dude.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have agreed if you. It's it's not something I would have said about you, but now that you've said it, I can agree with that. Yeah. I'm just kidding. I don't know, dude. What's the worst heckler that you've ever had?
I'm trying to think about it right now, because I was thinking about it as you were talking about it. The worst one that sticks out to me is that I had when Arts Bar was still doing shows. It was one of the first ones that Sierra had ever came to. It was when they were doing those shows where it was a bunch of music acts and a bunch of comics.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Dude.
It was one of the worst experiences that you could possibly go through.
Like you get
sometimes.
there, like the show starts at like 8, and then for whatever reason, like you're going up at 12:30, but there were only 4 acts ahead of you, like for no reason.
Well, dude, no, it would be like there would be like 2 comedians and then a music like act, and it was all the ploy for this one guy to like for his cover band to play.
Yeah,
Like that was the real deal, was like this dude like clearly was like trying to like make friends or something, and and so it would be like his cover band, and then like all these other like music acts from Kansas City.
Yeah,
and then he would be like, and then you go stand up there and fucking do whatever the fuck you do for like $0.
And like for 10 minutes, and they
10
didn't
minutes.
and they don't move anything off the stage because they're like, "Yo, we got like
Dude,
3
they're
more
like
bands."
moving shit on. They're like moving stuff around sometimes.
Yeah, they were.
Like it was insane, and there'd be like 2 intermissions.
Yeah, for no, that's why I'm saying like there'd be 4 acts ahead of you, but it would be like a 4-hour. Like you get there at 8, and then you're going up at 12:30 and there's like 4 hours in between of just either like bands or breaks.
And then upstairs there would be fucking like techno music, white guys with dreadlocks.
But for some reason nobody's dancing. Like everyone's just like middle school promming it.
Right.
Like on one end of the room.
Dude, you know what's such a shame is that they didn't introduce the idea of like what they do now with the headphones. Like somebody who DJs like.
Yeah, it's like a silent
Then you
disco
could
or whatever.
do that up there.
Yeah, that'd be perfect because still no one would be dancing. They'd just be listening to music.
Yeah, and like think though you could do it out on the patio too.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Dude,
it would be, and it wouldn't make everything terrible for comedy.
Were you with us at when we went to Arts Bar like after Don't Tell a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, and everybody
Why
was
is
on
it
mushrooms.
so horny in there right now?
Bro, it is a hornier space than before. Because of the layout, like all the benches. Well, it's just like that dance floor in there. But I liked it though. Like it was cool, but it definitely seemed like we were like ruining like some sort of like middle-aged like sex party.
Yeah. When I walked in, I immediately looked around and I was like, it's so horny in here. It feels like the beginning of every Blade movie. Like before you realize they're vampires, and it's just like, this is a lot right now.
Yeah, dude.
But it was so fucking fun.
Were you on mushrooms?
No.
Oh, that's so funny. Everybody else was.
Dude, anytime anyone's ever on anything, I'm just kind of in the corner like, I'm just here. Like that's again part of my persona. I'm just there.
You are. You drink a little bit, but like not at comedy stuff really.
I do like to I have some drinking stories at this point that are fun.
Really?
Yeah, dude. So,
I just remember seeing videos of you like online of you like dancing in a circle of people.
Yeah, that was at one of my friends' birthday celebrations. I have like a group of just Haitian friends that are I view them as like a second family at this point because I know like all their relations, who's related to who, and they love Sierra to death too, and then I'm kind of like like I'm best friends with one of the guys. He was the best man at my wedding.
Yeah. No, I remember.
And he just like kept inviting us to stuff. To now, it's like, oh, it's Lynn and Sierra. Like I went there one time without her, and every one of them was like, "Where's Sierra?" And I'm like, "Oh, she's in St. Louis." And they were like, "Oh, okay." Like they were just a little disappointed that she didn't come, but they drink hard, dude.
Really?
Dude, there's like a 78-year-old grandmother who will go shot for shot with you. And
Jesus Christ.
It's the coolest thing ever. I did 3 with her one time, and then she was like, "Another?" And I was like, "I'll die."
No.
Like, no.
She's too good at it.
She really is.
Probably been doing it for a while.
They'll be like, we went there on like a New Year's Eve, and they were like, we got there a little bit after midnight.
Yeah.
And they had been partying since 6 in the evening, and then we left at like 2,
Yeah.
And then we kept getting like the videos and the Snapchats until 6 a.m. Like they were just partying all night, and then like the next day I think they still had like a birthday to celebrate, and they were like, hey, let's just go back over.
That's wild, dude. That's crazy. I mean, like, I feel like on New Year's Eve, though, like, into New Year's Day, that's not, like, too abnormal. I think the abnormal part about it is, like, the family aspect. Like, I mean, like, some of my family, actually, I've stayed out until, like, the wee hours of the morning, like, drinking with, or, like, stayed up drinking with that late.
But they're, like,
they're doing it, like, a lot.
They're doing that, like, I was saying, like, it's not weird that it's on a, like, New Year's Eve, but that'll just be, like, a Friday, like a Friday in like March for no reason. It's so cool, but like their culture is just like so much fun. Yeah, like there's like a saying, I can't remember like I can't remember how they say it, but the exact phrasing I think is, you do not need to drink every day, but every day is a celebration to drink. Essentially, if I'm messing that up, I'm so sorry, but that's.
I mean, I like it.
I like it too.
I don't drink, but I like it.
Oh yeah,
I think that makes a lot of sense.
I forgot you're like sober.
Yeah, I mean, well, I just don't drink alcohol. I don't drink alcohol, but I don't like not drink alcohol because of like, I was like, I'm gonna like, I have like a problem, you know, like I'm gonna die if I keep doing this.
Yeah.
But it was more of a like, I can't afford this, and this is expensive, and it makes me feel like shit, and so it's like, why? I was like, why would I keep doing this?
I'm kind of at that point
to seem cool. It's like, I am cool. You know what I mean?
When
I don't need
cool.
it.
I think of you.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of Jordan Peterson fans out there. After I fucking made them my little babies on the internet, Jordan Peterson fans.
Jakeoff Nation at war.
Dude. Yeah, come at me. Come at me. They're like, dude, it was like all these guys being like, you're fat. You're a fat little pig. And then you go click on their profile. Baby. They're like, you have nothing good going on in your life. And then you click on their profile and it'll be like, they've posted like clips of them playing fucking Call of Duty or something like that once every like 5 years.
They have 5 different beards growing, but none of them are connected.
Yeah. It's like, dude, you're exactly who I think you are. I know exactly who you are. And they would comment on it. It was like so funny. They'd be like, you're just doing this for engagement. And I'm like, this is an Instagram reel. Yes. You're exactly right. I am doing this for engagement.
Do the Peterson Bros have like a name? Like, is there like like obviously there's Jakeoff Nation.
They're the distinguished gentlemen fans of Jordan Peterson. I don't know. They don't have
Okay, I was gonna say that sounds like something they would call themselves.
Dude, no, that's like totally having like a name like Parrot Heads, like Jimmy Buffett fans or something. Is like antithetical to everything that Jordan Peterson stands for.
Yeah.
Because he's like, why would you have any fun? Why would you want to have any fun? You should eat meat and drink water and die.
I've only ever listened to him talk like once or twice on like past Rogan pod. He always looks like he got bit and doesn't like want to admit it.
He only eats beef and drinks water, dude. That is his diet. It's insane. His wife opened for him.
I know. I listened to that.
Oh, you told me already. Yeah.
And
I could talk about it for hours. I feel like just such a psychotic. They're freak shows, dude. They're freaks. But, dude, okay, one thing I did want to ask you, because you worked at Olive Garden.
Yeah.
Not anymore, but you used to.
Yeah.
And so working at a chain restaurant, did you ever have like any like weird like people who were like regulars? And you're like, it's like strange because they like love it, but you're like, this is Olive Garden. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean,
like you kind of like are like, you classless. You're like disgusting.
Dude, yeah, but the thing was like they knew what they were. So like,
yeah, they were like,
it's not like, oh, There are some people like that are like, oh, this is date night, like a Friday night, Saturday, like a nice, like this is a quote unquote.
They
nice
knew
night.
what they were.
They knew what they come in tank
That's
tops with
so
the most
funny, dude.
hairy chest and sweatpants, and they're specific.
They're
people.
like actually Italian for some reason. He's like, please don't tell my mother I was here.
It's so much food. It's so free.
Lynn, can you call me a fat pig while you grate the cheese over my salad?
While you
grate the cheese over my pasta? Can you, until I say when, will you say, you want more, you fat little pig?
Sure, you fat little pig.
He's like, Lynn, I got an extra tip for you if you call me a little hog while you put the cheese on my salad.
I didn't care. Just please give me money. Like,
yeah, I did.
There are a few people. Two of those people actually got me hired. Like, two of those people that were like regulars there. Dude, it was
really,
yeah. Because I was the job before that, I was working at the Steak and Shake.
Oh yeah, okay.
And
that's so funny.
They were regulars there too. I don't know.
Oh my god, dude, they're just the biggest pieces of shit.
The thing was, but the woman was the sweetest little like elderly woman possible, and the guy was just like he thought he was like a mob boss, but it's like
I want to die. He's like, I want to die inside of Olive Garden.
But like they would come in like on certain days and be at Steak and Shake.
Were they actually Italian?
No.
Oh, that's so funny. So he was like, but he was dressed like a mob boss.
Kinda? Yeah, he would dress like a retired mob boss.
A velour jumpsuit kind of shit. That's so funny.
And he would talk to me, and his wife would talk to me. They'd be very sweet at the Steak and Shake, and then one day he comes in and they're like, hey, I think you're too good for this place. Which
they're like,
hit me in my soul.
That's so funny, dude. They're like, Lynn, don't you have any dreams? No. Don't you want to play in the big leagues, Lynn? You got a shot, kid. You just got to take the chance. We can help you. We have an inn at the Olive Garden. That's insane.
Literally, they did, though.
But it is a total, but I mean, in a material way, it is a complete come-up.
Yeah, it is a complete It was like their version of Moneyball. Like, they're trying to find cheap labor at different shitty restaurants.
It was Billy Bean's Olive Garden.
Dude, and what was wild was I told them, like, hey, like, tell like you're in or whatever at Olive Garden, I would like to be interviewed or whatever. And I went with my girlfriend at the time to like just have like lunch there and get like a sense of like, okay, how busy are they on like a weekday, like how many tables you get, like just try and get a sense. And then
they were like, dude, can you please start working right now?
Literally, because I asked the server for the manager to come over. And the manager came over, and she was like, oh, yeah, they were talking about you. You're Lynn? You want to, like, work tomorrow? And I was like, cool. And then I got up and left, and I looked at my girlfriend, and I was like, I didn't actually introduce myself to her. She just knew my name. Which is
so funny. They're like, oh, he's the new signing.
Yeah. Literally. And then
they're like, you're the first round draft pick, Lynn Navratil. How? Of course we know your name. Our franchise just picked you in the first round from Steak and Shake U.
SSU, right? Like,
dude, so the reason why I asked you about that is because this story that I saw. So this town.
I'm so excited.
This town in Missouri. I'll get the name in a second. I'm just gonna explain the story because it's so funny. So this town in Missouri during COVID, something happened to their local Hooters.
Oh no!
And it happened to a lot of businesses. They said, "Hey, we're gonna close down while we figure this whole COVID thing out." But we'll be back.
Being safe as Hooters
we're gonna be back. And they never came back.
Those bastards.
And now the building that was going to be Hooters, or that was Hooters before, is going to be demolished. And so they are having a candlelight vigil for the Hooters in their town. So it's in Missouri. It's Charleston, West Virginia. Sorry. This is in Charleston, West Virginia. My bad.
Oh.
This a different story that we're going to talk about is in Missouri. But
Okay.
yeah, it's a Hooters in Charleston, West Virginia, and they say Hooters of Charleston has not reopened as a result of the COVID. This time has taken improvements. There are no updates. We remain closed. So those are two comments a year apart. But basically, they
That's really
invited
good
everybody out
marketing to be like, hey, we're still not opening up a year later.
Well, what I think is like, what I think is so funny is to think of like the people who are gonna show up to this, because like imagine you know about the kind of freaks who are like regulars at Olive Garden.
Yeah.
But imagine the kind of absolute scumbags that are Hooters regulars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're just like there, like holding each other, weeping with their little fucking paper plate candles in front of the Hooters. They're like, where are we going to see titties? All the good booby restaurants have closed down.
Dude, when I was 18, my friends took me to a Hooters for my birthday.
That's so funny. They're like, Lynn, you're old enough now.
Basically, yeah.
That's so funny, dude. I've been to Hooters since I was like a child.
What was that? I don't know.
I was born in Hooters. My mom was a Hooters gal. Dude, actually, I'm going to say this on the podcast so that if somebody takes the idea, they'll know that it was stolen. That's a great idea. It's like a Joe Dirt reboot kind of thing, but not actually Joe Dirt reboot, but like it's kind of similar, but like one of the plot lines is that his mom is a Hooters lady and he's born inside of a Hooters.
That's very funny.
Yeah.
Dude, what was I gonna... I fucking lost my thought for a second. God damn it. No, but that's the other thing I'm interested to. Like, what's the other restaurant? Like, there's got to be no other restaurants in that town, right?
No, I mean, dude, it's the largest town in West Virginia. It's like it's got like a couple 100,000 people, like 180,000, I think it said. But
Gotcha.
I just imagine that it probably is like relatively sparse in terms of like titty restaurants and like restaurants that cater directly to people who want to look at titties.
I was gonna say
Is what I think the problem is, and so now they're gonna have a candlelight vigil. They actually spelled it visual.
I know they did
In the post about it, they were like, "We're gonna have a candlelight visual," and it's like, "What are the visuals gonna be? Is it gonna be a bunch of ladies in tight shirts?" They're like, "Come on out one more time for a candlelight visual."
They do like a Viking funeral style, and they just send the shorts off in a boat down the river. Dude, okay, now I remember what. Do you remember? I can't remember if he was like a talking head or if he actually was like. No, he was an author. I have him blocked on Twitter just because I can't stand to like even see him. But he's like super right wing, and he like took like his whole family to Hooters to be like, oh, this is a great male atmosphere for me and my family.
Is it the alpha male guy?
Yeah.
Nick,
Yes, it's Nick
whatever.
Adams.
Yeah, Nick Adams, dude. That guy is just I don't even know if that guy like believes all that stuff or if he's just like an expert troll. Like,
no, I don't necessarily.
People get so like triggered by like that stuff, and it is hilarious. I do think that even if he isn't being sincere, he's grifting for sure and like making a ton of money off of it.
yeah.
But like there are people who literally do think exactly like them, where they're like M&Ms are woke, or like something
Where's
like
my
that. It's
hot
like, dude,
M&Ms
what the
at?
fuck are you talking about, you dumb fuck? M&Ms are not woke, dude.
They're no longer sexy.
Dude, it's first of all, it's hilarious to complain about the M&Ms not being like gender conforming enough. It's like they're fucking candy. But like beyond that, the idea that a corporation is woke is like the stupidest shit. It's like, no, they are not, dude. They are trying to make money.
Yeah.
Like they are like not. They don't have any values besides money. There's no corporation. That's why HR exists. That's what HR is, dude. HR is literally corporations being like, we have to protect ourselves from our employees.
Yeah.
Like it's the entire like structure is not woke. It's not woke. It's not woke just because the M&M doesn't have the legs you like. God.
Yeah, they really did just change the legs up, and everyone got mad that it
Dude,
wasn't.
But see, all these people are from a fucking time when this was cool.
Yeah.
When they like literally, the Hooters logo is literally just tits. It's just boobies. And it's a crude drawing of tits. And everybody's like, oh, I can't believe it's gone.
Dude, like Hooters is like pretty close to like bankruptcy, aren't they? Like
Of course. If not financial, at least, like at the very least, moral bankruptcy.
Well, they were always morally bankrupt.
Yeah, dude. I mean, Hooters is just, it's a shame how many good American marriages they've ruined.
Dude, did you ever see the like South Park parody of Hooters?
Oh, yeah, where
it's
but
fucking
it's like
raisins.
literally children's.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like children's. Listen to me, dude. They're children's.
They're the
Whatever
children's.
I'm doing.
We have to protect the children's.
Dude, but it's just so funny they're going to have a candlelight vigil.
Is there a
And,
restaurant that you would have a candlelight vigil for?
No. No. I think we reserve them for people. Like a dead kid, candlelight vigil.
That's my motto.
Dead Hooters,
Just plow it down.
I don't even think that we need to write about it in the newspaper. Honestly, it's like,
I can kind of respect the white trash aspect of wanting something to come back, and it's never going to come back, but you keep wanting updates, because that's how I felt about My Name is Earl back in the day.
that's so funny, dude. I watched a little My Name is Earl. Dude, listen to this quote. Bring your candles and signs, and let's let Hooters and the city know we will miss it tremendously. We will have chicken wings with the traditional Hooters sauce on site and a limited amount of the goat sandwich, the strip cheese. Please share and be there. And then, in quotations, every hour is happy hour at Hooters. I just love the guy, like the idea of like two like guys in trucker hats and like overalls in West Virginia hugging and be like, it's okay, man.
Every hour is happy
Happy
hour.
We're in Hooters.
Someone buys a tombstone, and that's all that they have on there is Hooters in quotations. Every hour is happy hour.
Dude.
I thought that they hadn't built it. Was it like built and they just never opened it, or was it like? Because it's really funny to be like, how much we'll miss it when it was never like fully open. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, it's really hard for me to decide if this is like a sign, like the candlelight vigil for Hooters, if it's a sign for like that the world is like in terrible shape or that things are going too well. I can't decide. Like on the one hand, like there are people who are like in such a state that losing Hooters compels them to like go out in like a community event,
Yeah.
to like support, like for support, but like on the other hand, I'm like, people are in such a good place that they are being shattered by the closing of a Hooters.
I would love to know who shows up more for the like candlelight vigil for the Hooters or like the next local election. Like that's all that like I would want to know.
100%, it's the Hooters. They have limited supplies of the goat sandwich. I don't know if you heard them, Lynn. Dude,
What day is it?
It's this week. I don't know. February 26th. It was today.
Oh, damn it. We
It was
missed it.
today, dude. Damn. It's going to be plowed down and turned into a Sheetz gas station.
Oh, fucking course.
Have
it
some
is.
gas. Hey, you want some fucking tits? How about some gas? Hey, tits and ass, more like tits and gas. The Hooter girls are pumping your gas. Come on down. Hey, you guys thought the Hooters girls were gone, but they're here.
Hooters lives on in spirit.
Dude, so I accidentally mistakenly said that was in Missouri, but that's because this other story that I saw took place in Missouri.
Yes.
In Howell County. Whoops. That was something about a student saying a racial slur.
You have to
I'm trying to exit this,
you
but
have a lot of tabs.
yeah, well, these are just news stories, so
Gotcha.
it's but this guy in Missouri, he he cut off his own feet, and it was an insurance scam. He was trying to do an insurance scam, so like. Apparently he's like a known paraplegic, like he can't feel his feet already. But he like I don't know, he like worked on a farm or like he like lived on a farm or something. And he said that he called the police and was like, "My feet got stuck in the brush hog." He's like, "My feet are in the brush hog. They got cut off. My feet are gone." And they're like, "Oh my God." And so everybody comes running into wherever this guy is at. And the sheriff shows up because he's like a sheriff in the fucking middle of nowhere, Missouri.
Yeah.
He's seen people's feet get cut off by a brush hog. He's seen that. And he shows up and he's like,
Hold on a second.
yeah, literally, he's like, "Something ain't right." He like is talking, they're interviewing the guy. He's like, "Something ain't right. I seen this was too clean of a cut to be from a brush hog."
He's also Foghorn Leghorn for some reason.
Yeah, dude.
I say. I've seen a brush hog cut.
These feet were not cut by the brush of a hog. But dude, he cut off his own. He paid a guy from Florida actually to come cut off his feet because he like figured like that way. It would be like somebody nobody would know or like expect or whatever. And it went so poorly. Like he did such a bad job that they were like, "Dude, the guy who cut them off put tourniquets on him." And they're like, "How did you do that? You're a paraplegic." And he's like, "So?" It's like, "So what?" And so they literally
God's a mystery.
Dude, they couldn't even charge him for making the false insurance report.
Yeah.
Because it didn't even get that far. Like, the sheriff showed up immediately and was like, "You're busted, pal." It's like, "You're doing an insurance scam. We figured it out the moment we saw the fucking fact that your feet didn't get cut off by the brush hog." And he's like, "Oh, you got me."
Imagine going so far to cut your feet off, and then with the first obstacle that's like, "We know you did this." You're
Dude.
like, you got me.
Can you imagine feeling like
No.
dude, you cut off your feet to be like, "This is it. I'm cashing in my feet for a fucking assload of money, dude."
Dude, he just doesn't learn.
You're selling your feet to the devil, dude. You're selling your feet to the devil. That's what you're doing. And then you do it. Your feet are off. They're gone. They're not coming back. And then immediately somebody shows up and is like, "Wee woo, wee woo." You're busted. We know exactly what you did.
The devil gets your feet, and now he can't walk either.
Yeah, dude. It's like I would feel, but it is like, I think, consolation to the fact that like he wasn't using them anyways. You know, he already like wasn't using them. But that's what's so confusing about it to me. I'm like, dude, like, why would you be in the brush hog? Like, what is going on? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
What was he trying to get the insurance money for? Did it say, or did he admit like what it was for?
Dude, so he said that a man from Florida made the trip to the small Ozarks town to cut off the man's legs with a hatchet, executing an alleged plan to commit insurance fraud. The wounds were not very convincing. Yeah, so he said it was done by a brush hog. A couple days after, we got a call that a relative found the feet in a bucket obscured by tires, so we went and got them.
Wait a
Yeah,
minute.
dude.
So
This guy is just like this guy is.
Wait.
It's so confusing. It doesn't make any sense.
Where
None of it
did-
makes. It's a terrible plan.
Where did they find the feet again?
The feet were in a bucket, like around the corner, like right over behind, like hidden behind something.
You can't pay the guy a little bit more to bury him.
I know, dude. It's like, but honestly, like, how good, how. I bet that it's probably pretty hard to find a good guy to cut off your feet, like, and execute the plan correctly.
Yeah,
Like,
I've
especially online. You know what I mean? Like Craigslist, you got to go on like Craigslist. And what do you put? Where do you put the ad? You put it in jobs?
You go on WikiFeet and you're like, who wants to cut off
Yeah.
my feet?
That's actually probably would have been a better idea. Then that's not what this guy did, I bet. Because what
What?
you just came up with is like,
Pretty sound.
you're like, buddy, I know you've been thinking about this your whole life. How would you like to cut off some feet?
boy, oh boy, do I have a proposal for you.
Help me, help you. I want you to cut off my feet.
And that way, like, he gets to keep them.
But what I don't understand is like why they didn't just stick his feet in the brush hog. You know what I mean? Like, dude, you could have just stuck your feet in there. Like,
That's a really good
why?
point.
If your lie was, if you're like, okay, we're gonna say like that my feet got caught in the brush hog. Why wouldn't you just, if you're going through the trouble of cutting them off with the hatchet, just put them in the brush hog?
You know what it sounds like?
You're already a paraplegic.
You know what it sounds like is that, from everything I'm hearing, is that it sounds like he was going to eventually try to reattach his feet, because if they're just in a bucket around the corner, then he just wants to keep them.
No way. I think that the guy maybe was meant to take them with him. Like, that's the only thing I can think of is like, dude, you're supposed to take them with you. You don't want the feet around.
It's just like he just has like a goof. Like, you ever just have like,
Dude,
you got
he's
your
like-
phone, your wallet, your
he's
keys.
like driving away. No, he gets to like the hotel. He's like showering the next morning. He's like, oh,
the feet.
I left the feet. Oh, the feet. I left them.
He just shows up
That's
the next.
so funny.
He shows up the next day to like get him. He was like, "Hey, did anybody see any feet? No big deal. If nobody saw him, I'm just wondering."
Dude, yeah, I just like can't imagine like how defeated you gotta feel just sitting there with no feet.
Real defeated.
Yeah, defeated. Ugh, dude. Speaking of defeated though, so this story, this is like, so these 3 articles that I have open here still
Yeah.
are all part of the same story.
What?
Because this so this whole thing started, so this has been going on for months now. So this guy, his name is Steve Irwin, which is hilarious. His name is Steve Irwin.
Rest in peace.
No, so Steve Irwin is a homeless man in Seattle, and a few months ago he stole an excavator, so one of these giant claw digging things.
Yeah.
He stole one of those,
Okay.
and he drove it to a park. So he stole it from a construction site, drove it to a park, and excavated a bunch of shit.
Okay.
Because he's like, I'm gonna build a cabin
Okay.
in this park, and they
Sound
they
logic.
came and arrested him, of course.
Yeah. As one does.
He's tried criminally, like, you know, he's in trouble. But after he got out from that and like is still awaiting trial, he went back and like started cutting down trees in the park and building a log cabin in the park. And he's got a cabin, dude. He has like a fucking he has a treadmill. He has a bunch of stuff. I'm gonna play a video right now.
Okay. Because I'm already ready to defend him.
Yeah, dude. So this video kind of encapsulates like what the situation has become. So this has been going on for months. The people who live in the area, which actually I wanted to look up the area code on Zillow before we watch this. Let's see how much some of these houses are worth in this zip code.
Yeah, because with how the houses are around here, I might want to invest.
Yeah, for sale. $709,000, $8 million, $768,000 for this 1,700 square foot house. Jesus Christ. Yeah, some of these are looking pretty...
I don't think I want to invest.
Yeah, they're pretty expensive.
I'm with this guy. Does he actually... Is he renting it out? Is he living in it?
The cabin?
Yeah.
So he's mentally unwell is a big part of this. So people... This lady... So he believes that he's going to find gold. That's part of it, is that he's digging into the earth for gold. And... this one lady even offered... Well, actually, I'm going to play the video.
Please
so
play the video.
We'll watch this video.
Now I'm really ready to defend him.
And if you want me to pause it, just let me know. If you want me to pause it so that we can make a joke.
Molly and Preston, it was $15,000 to repair this hillside. Today, we talked to the man accused of causing that damage. He says he came right back here because he wants to build a cabin. And despite offers of help and criminal charges, he says he has no intention of leaving. Tucked in the woods of Dr. Rizal Park, this is Stephen Irwin.
I love that they're like, with offers of help and criminal charges, he's still doing it.
Yeah, he's getting the gambit. We're really trying everything. We're throwing it all at him. Trouble, heaven, hell, everything.
Warrants. It's just not working.
Yeah, dude. So he's fucking, dude, he's a tough guy.
It's cabin, complete with beer kegs, a washing machine, several TVs, and this treadmill. Irwin took Como News into his encampment, which he says he plans on expanding.
We've got fire, gasoline, propane, kerosene, and live wires and flammables everywhere.
Andrea Suarez does homeless outreach with We Heart Seattle. She's been trying to get Stephen to move indoors.
I've even offered to pay for his first 6 months of housing, and he just told me, that's great, but I'm still going to keep my cabin in the woods.
She's like, we're trying to get him to move indoors. He's making his indoors.
Dude, I love that she's like, we'll pay for your first 6 months of housing. And he's like, that's great, but I'm still going to keep my vacation home in the park. She's like, what do you mean? He's like, I built it.
I'm with him.
You're on his side.
I'm 100% on his side.
I think that it is problematic in the sense that he could easily, because he has a bunch of propane generators. Everybody that has been down there is like, it smells like propane and gas and all this stuff. They're all these fumes, kerosene fumes and stuff.
It sounds like it's gonna take care of itself.
Yeah, dude, there's going to be a forest fire in the middle of Seattle.
You just need to have the fire department ready. Just be like, hey, because what's his name? Steve?
Steve Irwin.
Yeah, okay. You just call the fire department, and they're like, Steve. You're like, Steve. And then you just go out there.
His log cabin's burned down again.
I love, too, that the 3 necessities he brought were kegs, TV, and the treadmill.
He's like, keg, I need my beer kegs, I need 4 TVs, and I need a
don't want to get pudgy.
He's like, yeah, I gotta work out.
Yeah, from all the kegs.
Dude, but hold on. I think that there's a guy coming up.
Okay.
It's funny, but maybe it was not in this one.
This cabin is something Stephen has been working on for months. He was arrested here back in October for bringing in an excavator from a nearby construction site to dig up the hillside. The city paid thousands to fix the damage, and Irwin was criminally charged. But it didn't take long for him to come back, and this time...
This guy is just getting away with it, so I don't know. I don't understand that.
His cabin is now far more extensive than any previous camps here.
Absolutely frustrated. Yeah, it's terrible. We need some civility here. We need some police action.
Neighbors say the damage will take years to undo, and they fear things could get worse before it's resolved. But there's also a risk for him being in that environment.
There are smells of kerosene, propane. He's wiring generators, gasoline. There's 3 different forms of fuel down here, and live wires, hoses are everywhere. It's a ticking time bomb.
This really sounds like it's gonna resolve itself at some point.
Dude, I mean, like, obviously you don't want a homeless guy exploding in the middle of the park, but I think that dude that they interviewed, like, just seems so, just like,
He's so
he was so
tired.
despondent about the entire thing. He's like, I just don't understand.
I think
Which
he's mad.
it's gotta be confusing because you're like, they arrested him already. Like, why is he allowed to do this? And they're like trying to get the police. He's like, look, I know that this is the city where we had the whole block where the police weren't allowed. But I've changed my mind, and I want you to come beat the shit out of this homeless man.
It's like that one meme of Mo throwing Barney out of the bar, and Barney just pops it right back up behind him, like, we can't get rid of this guy.
Dude, it really is though. He goes back. It's his cabin in the woods, and he keeps saying that he has permission. He's like, I got permission. He's
That's
like,
the
I'm
part
allowed to do this.
That's the part I would be worried about. If he realized how crazy it
Yeah,
was.
dude. We're gonna have another Ruby Ridge on our hands. Do you know what that
I
is?
don't.
That's
I would
where,
love to know.
dude. It's like it was a standoff between essentially this family and like a couple of their like close friends who I think like maybe like lived with them, and the ATF, I believe, or it might have been the FBI. One of the two. One of the two guys who like. One of the two organizations who, like, you know, they're like, all they're known for is like harassing Martin Luther King Jr. and like burning down a house full of kids or like whatever. you know the good guys.
The agencies.
But the dudes who they were fucking with were one of them was a guy who they had been kind of like working because he had some affiliations with some white nationalist organizations. And he had purchased, I believe he had purchased like an illegal sawed-off shotgun from an FBI informant or something like that. And so it's like one of those situations where like they're trying to get their hooks into this guy.
Yeah.
He is like an anti-government, you know, sort of like freak. He like owns this property. And they were trying to get him to go to court. He had received letters from his lawyers. And they were trying to, you know, like press charges against him for like this gun or whatever. And he initially received incorrect information. So initially he like received a thing that said his court date was like one date, but like not another. It didn't, if I remember correctly, it didn't really matter. It didn't seem like he was going to go. But they ended up showing up there. A couple of FBI agents showed up there, and I think they got shot at.
Oh, Jesus.
And so then they went back, though, and they, like, fucking, like, shot the guy's kid and, like, wife and shit.
Jesus.
And so it's just, like, one of those things where you're like, this is bad. This is all bad. And so, yeah, it's, but that's what's going to happen to this homeless guy. In his encampment.
But
we're going to have another Ruby Ridge on our hands.
But with that one,
We got another Ruby Ridge on our hands.
We
This
got
fella's going to stand his ground.
I'll say we got. But the difference between that and this homeless guy is that he's just kind of endangering himself instead of.
I mean, it is a public park, and it is also the Pacific Northwest. It could easily, like, if it's like the dry part of the year, dude, there could be a pretty big fire.
If it's the dry part of the year, again, just have the fire department on the phone. Be like, Steve. Yeah, it's
Dude,
Steve.
you are so pro this guy having, and I'm not against it. I think that, like, you know, for what it's worth, like, they shouldn't be able to just like be like. I don't think that they should be able to tell homeless people like you can't sleep in a park.
I would be
It's like, dude, this is a park. Like, I think that it's like. I think that it's okay to be like, you can't have a bunch of generators and like wires hooked up because they can do that to you at your house too.
I would
Like,
be,
they can be like, you can't wire this like that. Like, you know, like there are rules for that. I think let's get rid of the generators. Let's let's de-escalate. Let's start with just getting rid of the generators, and then slowly but surely we can kind of work backwards.
I would be less against this if it wasn't for the housing market, Jake.
Yeah,
Have you
no,
we just looked
really,
at.
it is really funny. One of the guys in the other video is like a white dude with a ponytail, and he's like, well, I just think that he should be out of there. Buddy, I think you've come to the wrong neighborhood.
If he didn't have the, because they keep coming back to the propane and the kerosene, if he didn't have that in there, would anybody care?
Dude, he's a fucking... No, I think they would.
Yeah, no, they actually
I think
would
they
care.
would, actually.
I'm 100% on this. I just like
our
arguing against it.
property values. And the other thing, too, is that I
want
should
your
mention...
property values to go down. I want to be
is
able to afford a
after he
house.
did the excavator thing, they had to spend a bunch of money repairing the park because he fucked the park up pretty hard. And so they had to spend a bunch of money repairing it, and then right after it got done is when he showed up again and started cutting down the trees, and they're like, God damn it. No. It's a real cat and mouse, dude. Tom and Jerry situation. But honestly, dude, we've reached the end of the podcast.
Oh, okay.
We did a good job.
Hell yeah.
That was talking.
That was talking.
We had some riffs. We had some laughs. We had some cries.
Yeah, it's not about the podcast, Jake. It's about the friends you make along the way.
Yeah, it's about the friends you make along the way. What do you have to plug? Plug your stuff. Where can people find you?
They can find me on Instagram at lynn.navratil, Twitter, LT_Navratil, Facebook, Lynn Navratil, whatever.
Yeah.
And then upcoming shows. I've got a lot, which feels surprising.
Yeah.
I'll be at the Emerald for
Yeah.
KC Fashion Week on March
Wow.
15th.
Congrats. Are you getting an outfit?
No, Stacey K is putting on a show at the
But do you get an
Emerald.
outfit?
Yeah, I think she.
Do you get an outfit?
I get a suit.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Well, no, I have a suit that I'm wearing. Let me rephrase that. But I get to wear a suit.
Different.
Yeah.
It's not. You don't get one. You just
No.
you wear one.
March 16th, I'll be in Topeka. April 12th, I'll be in Lawrence.
Can people find this on your Instagram too?
Yeah. Just
Oh,
find it
yeah.
on my Instagram. I'll post it within the next day or so.
Yeah, dude. Those are your most upcoming ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, follow Lynn on Instagram and Facebook and look at his dates there, because it'll be easier for you to remember that way. I think.
Yeah, instead of being about I'll be here.
Yeah. Well, first I'm gonna be at this place.
It's a good Lynn.
I know, dude. I have a Lynn down. It's me, Lynn Navratil.
Can confirm I do sound.
But as always, you guys can follow this podcast at jakin.off.podcast. And you can send anything at all to jakin.off.podcast@gmail.com. I'll look at it at least once, even if you're a Jordan Peterson fan. Okay, so other than that, I think that's it. We did it.
Yeah.
I love you. I love you guys. Thanks so much for listening. Bye-bye. Bye-bye now.